Hi, good morning. Today I am going to view two more houses. So I'm now on my way to my car that is parked a bit further down the road because this morning they came with two tow trucks to tow out my previous car that fell off the mountain here. There was one that came with a crane, then there was another normal tow truck. I was actually really surprised by how fast everything went. They managed to do that in, I would say, less than 2 hours. It was a bit challenging because actually the part to get the car out went fairly easy. But then once they had lifted it up in the air, they couldn't get it down with the bottom on the floor. So that was really difficult because it is a convertible. They couldn't just attach stuff to the roof. So it was attached to the wheel and then it kept spinning. And then eventually they managed to attach their gear to the roof. But already by towing it out, the car had been more and more damaged, already more than it was. And then the roof also got super damaged. There was lots of oil leaking out, lots of gasoline. So, yeah, personally, I'm just really glad that finally, after many months, the car is out of the side, and I'm just happy to be rid of it at this point. Obviously, it's not really fun that this is something that cost me a lot of money, but moving on, I'm happy. So yeah, and now we're gonna go to see a house first that is rather close to my house. So I only need to drive 17 minutes to get there, which I'm very happy about because yesterday I was sitting outside and looking out on the mountain view that we have here. And I was a bit sad, to be honest. Also this morning when I woke up, I have a really beautiful view from my window. And I was just imagining not having that when I wake up in another house. And that made me rather sad and made me thinking maybe I don't want to move. And then it's just going on and on inside my head. So let's see what this house is like. So this house has absolutely amazing views. These are definitely the views that I'm looking for. So no matter where you're standing, you always have some kind of sea view. There is mountain view. It's the same mountains that we can see from our house, plus the mountains that we can see from our walks, plus even more mountains. And then you can just see the entire coast. It is really, really stunning, really amazing. Definitely something that, would be a feature of my dream house. But the house itself, it is quite big, but it is not optimally designed, let's say. So you have lots of small spaces, lots of little bedrooms, and like you have 3 little bedrooms in the main house, then you have 2 little bathrooms. The kitchen is really small. Obviously, you could take down a lot of walls. Then the upstairs, that could make a nice office area. Then you have some terraces on the top, which again offer stunning views all around. Then there is a guest apartment down below, which is quite spacious, but the real estate agent did not have the key, so we could not enter. And then there is a quite big garage that you could also use for something else. It's not that high, so my car wouldn't fit in anyway. So there's lots of really good features about this house, but the neighborhood is unfortunately unsuited for us because you have neighbors all around. In a way, it is nice that the street is all paved and everything, but on the images of the ad for the house, it seemed like it was like at the end of this hill of an unpaved road and that there were no neighbors. But in reality, you have neighbors on each side. which I'm sure would not be very happy about dogs barking at 7 a.m., which I obviously completely understand. But yeah, I just see some future disputes. I would also not feel that comfortable. On top of that, one of the neighbors has two pit bulls running around in his garden who were barking at me excessively, and I have absolutely no problem with pit bulls whatsoever. But it would make me nervous to walk my dogs because I would fear that, and this is unrelated to the fact that there are pit bulls, but just any big dogs that are barking heavily at the fence, I would be worried that if one day they would get out, it would cause a fight between my dogs and them. And it is just a fact that it is harder to break up a fight with a pit bull than with, let's say, a Pomeranian. So yeah, that's some downsides. It's a bit similar, I would say, maybe to the little castle house where I was also worried about the neighbors. And of course, I understand that I'm being very demanding, as in that I want to live somewhere with 11 dogs, and at the same time don't want neighbors that have a lot of dogs. So yeah, it is definitely a challenge. But right now we live somewhere where we only have one direct neighbor, and he's super chill with the dogs, and all of our other neighbors live further down. We know all of them. There's no issues with the dogs, and I really don't want any neighbor disputes. So yeah, I think the search continues, but it was good to see this property. The price range was a bit higher than I would have wanted for. Imagine I would want to buy the house, I would not pay the price. So it is listed for $440, which, to be honest, I think is definitely a fair price for the house, considering the views and how big it is. I actually think it is quite priced quite low in comparison to other properties that I've seen. So yeah, but I would want to take down walls. I would want to put in another bathroom, another kitchen, and so on. And for that, the price for me personally is too elevated. I'm back home now. I'm a bit disappointed today with the house viewings. Obviously, the first house had absolutely gorgeous views, but then the house itself wasn't that great, and especially the neighbor situation. And then, well, the second house, I mean, was a complete bust, I would say. So it was a bit of a waste of time. But okay, we go and we look, and now just on to newer things. I worked when I got home, and then I checked for some more houses. Normally the real estate agents were coming over yesterday to make drone shots, but in the end we moved it to the end of the week because we were not ready with all the garden work and everything. And I just wanted to look as neat as possible. So yeah, I'm actually feeling a bit sad about moving now, because I feel like none of the places that I've been to have views as nice as ours. So lots of things going on inside my head. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the viewing and that you're also learning a bit about the housing market in Spain in the meanwhile, in case you are also looking to move to Spain and maybe you're a bit less picky than me, or you just don't have 10 dogs. So we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.